I entered my 30s being broke. I lost my long-term relationship. I had no direction. I had a shitty job. I was unhealthy and I didn't like myself. So if there was a loser award of the year, I felt like I would have been a good candidate. As someone who always did well at school, at university, when I graduated university, a lot of people had a lot of expectations for me. And when I turned 30s, I looked around, I felt like I was so behind. I felt so embarrassed and I felt like the window of opportunity for me to make a good life for myself was closing in quite quickly. And that good life that I always dreamed of was never gonna happen for me. And if you're watching this video, maybe you're feeling like that too. I don't know why, but everywhere I look, especially in the past decade, it seems like there is this narrative that if you haven't made it by 30s, actually if you haven't made it by 19, then you're pretty much considered some sort of a loser. As I am now soon to enter my 40s, I look back into my last decade and I realized there was so many things that I learned from it. And my hope for this video is if you're watching this feeling down and feeling like you have accomplished nothing in life, then I hope this video will inspire you to take action and to give you a little bit of comfort, because the truth of the matter is it is never too late. Everything that you ever want in life is out there for the taking, and they can be yours too if you approach them the right way. The truth is no one has all their lives figured out. We are all figuring things out as we go. I was watching Ali Abdaal's video the other day and he gave very valid reasons of why we might feel lost in our life. We're feeling lost because we don't know where to go, we don't know where we are, and we don't know the path to get there. So when you feel like you haven't got everything together, it's most likely because you're feeling any one of these or a combination of these, while when you look at other people, it seems like they know exactly where they're heading and where they are. So when you look at it very subjectively like this, there is a hope for us. I'll be talking about, from my personal experience, how I figured some of these out and how you can do the same too. But first, I want to say that actually when you feel like you haven't got it all together at any age, and especially in your 30s, it is actually a good thing. I'm sure you know someone who, although how many decades have passed, every time you speak to them, they are an exact same person as the last decade. So in another word, they haven't changed one bit. And I talked about this before. There is a fine line between being content with your life and being complacent. And a lot of times people don't realize that something is missing or they need to change, not because they are content, but rather because they are complacent with where they are. So if you feel a bit lost or you feel like something is missing and you haven't got it all figured out, consider that a good thing. Consider that an opportunity for you to take action, do something and change. Another angle that we can look at this is an average life expectancy of the world is 70 years old. Can you imagine how boring life would be if you've got every single thing figured out by the age of 30 and nothing changes after that? You know, every one of us has been taught that we need to go to school in order for us to be successful or to do something. We need to go to university and graduate so we can be successful, do something. We need to find someone to have a couple of kids with and then buy a house, and then after all that, you then live happily ever after. But life is rarely like that. And the sooner you realize that there is no fixed pattern in life and everyone just has different timeline and their own path, the better it is going to be for you. What we've been taught isn't necessarily how we need to live our lives, and there's something else out there for us to figure out as an individual, and know that it is possible, very possible, to turn your life around even though you mess up your entire 20s or early 30s. So if you mess up your entire 20s and in your 30s one day you wake up and you say to yourself, damn, where has the time gone? What should you do? every day is day one. This was a beautiful philosophy by Jeff Bezos. This is how he runs Amazon. And what this means is that every single day is an opportunity for rebirth, reinvention, and renewal. I do actually have a video on my channel about my last reinvention recently, so if you are interested to see, then you can check that out. It's just another proof that every day is day one and you can just literally change yourself at any point in time. We're not trapped by who we were yesterday, and we get to make new decisions, form new habits and new actions every single day. When I entered my 30s, I did not have a career, despite being one of the most clever, top performer, I think that might be a better word, at university. I just hopped from job to job because I didn't really find anything I like. But because I thought to myself, every day is day one, I hadn't had a career before and now I'm 30s, fine, I can establish my career now. But what it meant was I had to go back and do more study while maintaining a full-time job. And at the start, it was really discouraging because all my peers, they were all ahead of me. I felt so behind, and some days I felt like maybe I would never catch up. Fast forward just 4 years after, I was right around where some of them were. I was ahead, some of them in terms of responsibilities and salary, and it just felt so incredible to be in that place in a short period of time. And I wouldn't have got there had I not felt like something was missing, had I not felt that I was falling behind in life, and had I not believed that every day is day one. So wherever you are in life, know that you can change now, you can change today. And because every day is day one, you need to know that anything can change at any point in time. A lot of times there are things that you can control and things that you cannot control. And most of the time, those things that you can't control happen to you without you buying into it, and there's nothing that you can do about it. I mean, how many times have you seen someone who seemingly has got everything figured out, got everything together, nice house, beautiful children, and a supportive partner, and then one day something tragic happens and they lost everything? Life is not a straight line, and we need to set the right expectation of what it is, because the negative feelings of embarrassment, sadness, or disappointment that you're feeling right now because you feel like you haven't got it all figured out is most likely because we didn't set the right expectations about what our lives should be at this age. And I know this firsthand because in my teen, I was watching one of the Britney Spears interview, and she said that she would get married and have kids by the age of 26. And then I thought, that's actually not a bad plan. I want that too. I would be married and have children by the age of 26. And now here I am as a 37-year-old woman, no children, struggling to have one. I know now that I didn't set the right expectation for myself. And part of the reason why I didn't set the right expectation for myself, and probably applies to you too, is because I didn't know myself very well. I think it's so easy for us when we are bored to want to socialize with other people, to go out, to find distractions. How many times do we actually sit down with ourselves and ask ourselves tough questions like, why do we do the things that we do? What do we actually really want in life without the influence of other people and the society? We rarely do that, and unfortunately, we're rarely taught to do that in school or at home. And I do think this is one of the key reasons why we all feel lost, at least at one point in time in our life, because we get pulled in so many directions. There's so many information these days, and this process of knowing yourself takes time to understand your values, your strengths, your weaknesses, but you need to know these first in order for you to start navigating life. I actually dedicated last year, 2023, to a year of self-awareness and self-discovery. I started journaling. I started asking people their perception of me. I asked what they think is my weaknesses and my strengths. I asked myself, why do I do certain things? And if you want me to dive further into those topics, then do let me know in the comments. And once you know yourself better, then it's time for action. Because every day is an opportunity for us to reborn, renew, it is also an opportunity for us to experiment and an opportunity to learn. With each new experience, you're more likely to learn more things about yourself, what you don't like, what you're drawn to. And then with the next experiment, you can do more of what you're drawn to and less of what you're not drawn to. There's no such thing as failing. If you're experimenting, then you're always learning. For example, if you're in a job you hate but you're trapped because of the paycheck, then find a side hustle, see if you can make money out of it, and if you don't like it, don't enjoy it, or don't make money from it, then you move on to do something else. And if you're not sure about what that something else or next thing would be, then just do anything. You know, I've talked about this before, but taking action is probably one of the most important things when it comes to reinvention. When I first started my YouTube channel, it only took me 2 months until my first video took off. My average views went from 100 views per video to, I think at the time was 10,000 views. And to be fair, with my little knowledge of YouTube at that time, I thought I made it, but it turns out I didn't. And there was just so much more about YouTube algorithm than having one video that outperformed others. And for the longest time, I didn't do anything because although I knew that I needed to experiment and try something else, I kind of stuck in a rut because I didn't really know what else to experiment with. Then I experimented with this channel, my second channel, and talk about something completely different. And who knows how it's going to go, but so far I think it's going well. I am talking about something that I'm passionate about, and I feel very happy being in front of camera. And it's just all because the mentality of staying curious and wanting to experiment and see what works and what doesn't. I would rather end the video here, otherwise it is going to turn into a rant. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.